Hi everyone, my name is Marty Celaya and I'm a proud lifetime member of the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship. What an honor for me to sit here with our international president, Dr. Richard Shakarian. How you doing, Richard?
Oh, well, a little tired from a long trip, Marty. We flew over to Ivory Coast, and it was an incredible trip. In fact, we were met at the airport in a wonderful way by the brothers and also with top officials, and they took our passport and luggage and everything. We didn't see any of that till we got to the hotel. and, and when we went to the hotel, we were accompanied with motorcycle police with the
Wow.
sirens and red lights and everything. And man, it felt really good. I think I'll go back to Africa because everywhere we went, we were escorted the whole way, and we stayed in a compound with several of our leaders, and there was security, and they were very careful with us because they've had trouble in that country before, and so they were extra careful, and I really appreciate their care for us.
Wow, Richard, you're all over the world, you and Vanjie, and we're always praying for you. But you were sharing with me about the worship and what was happening with the people. What was the quality of the worship over there?
You know, it was so incredible because many of these people have suffered persecution. Our former president of the nation there for the fellowship had been into prison. Now, these people had come from 13 nations, including Sudan, Tunisia,
Mm.
places where sometimes there's more than 95% Muslim, and the conflicts that happened. But they were so kind to us and so careful with us, and the anointing that was upon these special folks, because so many of them have suffered, and they weren't like Western Christians.
Mm.
We weren't going in there and singing a song. I mean, it came from the soul. It was a real worship, and the whole atmosphere was different. I just like to carry that atmosphere with me. I'd like to be in that atmosphere every day. It was so special to worship the Lord alongside of people that have suffered for our Lord.
Richard, you were sharing with me that something happened when they sang this particular song, Let It Rain.
Yeah, let it rain. Let the Spirit of God reign. And the choir was singing it, and all of a sudden, they different ones from the choir began to kneel down. I mean, it wasn't planned. It wasn't a show. It was a heartfelt cry to God. Their hands were in the air. The tears were coming down. Let it rain. Let it rain. Let the Spirit of God reign. I tell you, it stirred something inside of me as I realized that the suffering that these folks had gone through,
Mm.
and the cry for the Spirit of God, and I turned over to Lucian Ahara, who's our regional vice president, also president of the nation there for the fellowship, and I said, "Okay, Lucian, let me speak right now." And I just stood up behind that, and the glory of God fell down, and the anointing. I spoke on the love of God to His people.
Wow.
I
Good.
spoke in a way that was different. It wasn't the words that were different; it was the anointing that was different.
Hmm.
And it was the anointing of the persecuted that had experienced the love of God under the most difficult situation. I tell you, it just set off that whole convention. It was a turning point. The thing took off. And in every meeting, there was a great anointing that fell upon the people. And I really appreciate it. There was about 800 people in the room. They had come from 13 nations, including our vice presidents and leaders, as I mentioned, Lucian Ahur and his wife, uh, Victoria, outstanding people. He had to go into exile for a time, and now is back, and and he did an incredible job of organizing it, and 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 of taking care of us in such a wonderful way, and then. Um,
Some of the
I tell
people
you,
there was Danny was there,
well,
I
yeah,
think.
before I get on, let me just talk about Lucia and his wife for a
Oh,
minute,
okay,
okay?
okay.
So she is a clothing designer,
Oh,
and she made a beautiful outfit for me, like the regional kings would wear. I
right.
mean, they gave me, I mean, sandals like I have never seen
Oh
in
my
my life.
goodness.
They're beautiful. Gold was over it, golden threads, and then a great big little thing in front, and all of the bright yellow and other
I saw the
clothing.
pictures.
Yeah, and then a chain of stones and the tassels. I mean, it was really sharp. And then a cane, which I had to use coming back through the airport in Paris to get home.
You actually got through customs with the cane.
I'm surprised that I
With
could
the cane.
take it. I mean, it was a heavy cane, and then a black cat. Well, they were so kind, and we all of the leaders, we stayed in a compound that would go to the meetings, and they had a cook from the hotel come and cook for us.
Oh my God,
So
that's great.
it was wonderful, and I just love. We had a lot of fish and rice, which was great. And anyway, our leaders there were included Danny, I call him Megawatts. Danny, our famous regional international secretary. Danny is from Ghana. He travels all over the world, and he was there. He helped organize the whole thing. In fact, he put some of the finishing touches on it that made certain things possible. So, Danny, thank you so much. And also we had there Willie Orton, who was one of our regional vice presidents in Africa, and he always contributes a great deal in the spirit. And Francis from Ghana, and the team from Ghana, George, and there was
Humberto was there, right?
oh yeah, I got to talk about Humberto. Humberto is on fire for winning souls. And that's what the vision is all about, to reach the world. And Humberto spoke, and he got acquainted with the people. And by getting acquainted with the people, it made it possible to go back and to put on our fire teams and our outreaches.
That's fantastic.
And I was so happy that he and his wife, Maria, made the effort to come all the way from Nicaragua to Africa to be there and to help. And he was a great help. And he's a great man of God. All of these people are. And then Clement, better known as Woo Woo, Clement was there from South Africa, or from Central Africa, and DRC, and our other regional vice president in the area was not able to come because of family matters, and Dr.
Pierre
Frollo, thank you. And these are all really precious people. But I got to meet many wonderful, precious people because they were there from Sudan, they were there from Tunisia, they're from all these different countries that you think we couldn't have the fellowship chapters in. They're there going ahead, doing a great job, winning souls, and moving ahead. So it was a great encouragement to me to see what they are accomplishing and to encourage them to move not in a secular spirit, but move in the Spirit of God. You know, my father tried to start a chapter, and for a year nothing happened. But when the Spirit of God came, boom, everything changed.
Right.
And sometimes, as this fellowship is now over 60 years old, what happens is that people, sometimes we get people in leadership that are more secular orientated, or we're going to administer this thing.
Right.
You know, God is not looking for administrators. He has got the administration well in hand. I guarantee you that.
He's still moving by His Spirit.
And He is moving by His mighty power and Spirit and miracles. And so He's calling men of a great spirit, men who are willing to work for Him, to live for Him, to sacrifice, and to go beyond. And when I was there in Africa, I met exactly that kind of person. They gave me this beautiful plaque here showing Africa and Ivory Coast, and they were so kind to us. And Marty, all I can say is that I was greatly touched, and I hope that I'll never be the same because of what I received from those people who have suffered for the cause of Jesus Christ, and know that they're our brothers and our sisters. And I pray for each one of us that our dedication would increase very greatly.
Dr. Shakarian, you know, I'm one of thousands who have been touched by this fellowship. And I think what distinguishes us from so many other organizations is the love of God around the world. To be able to be with you in certain places, I've experienced firsthand the love of God from the different cultures and from the nations. And it sounds like the hospitality in Africa was, was just beautiful.
Okay, thank you so much, Marty.
It's an honor,
God bless
Richard.
you.
God bless you.
And God bless all of you.